Very well, welcome to our coverage of the eRacing GP Season 4, Round 2 of the Sim Idea, brought to you by that man, Alex Young. We've got a 5-round Season 4 coming for you. As I say, this is round number 2. This week we're at the Dubai Autodrome. Last week, Naqib Aslam from Malaysia was the man who dominated. Well, did he dominate? He certainly picked up maximum points in Shanghai. They're just about all set. Now then, what we'll try and do is maybe we'll get on board with Miko Nasi for the start, just to see what kind of a start he can get, and just to see what kind of a start Aslan can get. Well, Nasi is caught up in traffic. Oh, and the nightmare just gets worse and worse and worse for Miko Nasi. In the meantime, Naqib Aslam off to as clean a start as you like. Ayman Haziq and Kaylan Chin have drawn there as well. Kaylan Chin in P4, my word, it's so congested. Kaylan Chin barges away up into P4. Inigo Anton and Dylan Tanner all in there as well. As for our pal Miko Nasi, P10, that's Yevon David and Nabil Aslan who he's dueling with. In fact, Nabil has just gone inside. Miko catches Nabil. Tasby's gone alongside, then Kaylan fights back. Tasby in P3 temporarily. Tasby pushes himself into P3. Ooh. And Kaylan Chin drops, then Tasby.
We've all pitted behind him, and they both go into the pit lane for their pit stop.
Oh, competing and overtaking on the pit lane, Alex. So Kaylan Chin was the original leader. Now Naqib took a pit stop as well. So Naqib has made his first pit stop.
See how they come out of the pit stop, because interesting to see if they lost position. And there he is. Kaylan Chin just able to get out of the pit lane in front of this gaggle of cars. So he holds on to second position. Where's Dylan Tan? Dylan Tan's at the back of that gaggle of cars. So, Kaylan Chin there, that's good for him though. He managed to go a lap longer than everyone else. And he's just managed to hold on to second position.
The congestion behind him is phenomenal. It's like a rugby pack. You've got DRS is on. Oh. Josh Purwin has a look. Josh Purwin on the inside. Josh Purwin into P2. He tries to go on the outside, but Purwin up in P2. While these are dueling, look at that from Kaylan Chin. On the inside, and he's got the right line. Kaylan Chin takes P2 back. Purwin retakes it. Purwin holds it. Kaylan Chin on the inside. Tasby waiting for these two to gobble each other up, because if they touch and spin, Tasby will benefit in P2. Look at that racing. The green of Purwin, the black of Kaylan Chin, side by side. Again, a little bit of contact.
Kaylan's holding the inside though. Tasby looking at the outside. Oh, he looks so calm and collected as they go side by side through turn 13.
But is he trying to get that drag out of the corner?
Yes, he got a good drag here. Now, this is a good decision. Is Josh going to come in now? I got a feeling he might squeeze in. Yeah, he would. Oh! And so does Tasby.
No space for Dylan Tan. Dylan is looking. Look through the middle, though. On the inside. How about that from Ayman Haziq? Cheeky chappy, but Dylan Tan just holds his ground. But there is contact between Dylan Tan and Ayman Haziq. Naqib Aslam has got the lead. Dylan Tan looks around the outside of Tadashi, and Dylan Tan, can he hold it on? Wow. Dylan Tan into P4.
Wow, what a great move that was from Dylan, right around the outside of turn 1 in the red and white Audi.
Naqib Aslam, perfect start to Season 4. He had a wretched start to Season 3 and never recovered. Season 4, though, he will pick up the maximum 25 points. Naqib Aslan from Malaysia takes it. He's also going to take fastest lap as well. So a terrific result for Naqib Aslan, who is top of the pile in the gold class, gold star for the 20-year-old. 34-point weekend. Doesn't get better than that. 25 points for the win. 4 for fastest lap, 5 for fastest qualification. Josh Purwin and Mohamed Tasby level on points in second place. That's in the overall championship leader. They are the top 3. Let's just extrapolate that out a little bit and give you a few more, where Dylan Tan, the 11-year-old, is in P4 with 13 points. Tadashi and Kaylan Chin and Ayman Haziq all on 11. Miko Nasi, having qualified well, had a disastrous race but recovered to pick up 8 points. Nabil Aslan and Yevon David completing the top 10. Some big names there. And they're big names because this is the gold class. They are the creme de la creme, but there is no defending champion. That's the great news for all of the other competitors. Gives them a chance. Defending champion Alif Hamilton, 3-time defending champion Naqib Aslan for 1. Alex Young seems to be very, very happy about the absence of Alif Hamilton last week.
Well, no, it's still going to be close. We've got Miko Nasi, Naqib Aslan. There are a lot of good drivers here. And actually, since we've got Miko Nasi here, why don't we go on for a lap with Nico as he takes us around the Dubai circuit.
Alright, welcome to the Dubai Autodrome. I'll be taking you around for a lap here. I'll do my best to keep it on the track. So starting the start-finish straight here, one of the rare opportunities to have a proper breather and also use your DRS and push to pass if you have them. We start going downhill for turn 1 here, braking around the 100-meter board and turning early enough to try to get some of the curb on the inside, shorten the track. Bit of curb there on the left-hander as well, and very important to turn nice and early here for the double right. If you don't, you end up really struggling and understeering wide. Fairly firm on the brakes there. And pay attention here because the corner seems to tighten forever. And then we get a little bit of an easy corner, and then again a really tricky entry into the very, very important turn 9 because you've got a really long straight coming up. Probably one of the best overtaking places as well. Get a good exit from there and then DRS past the other guy on the straight. Looking for the 100-meter board or just before here. Very tricky corner again, especially with all the power we have in these cars. Left-hander here, it's easy not to remember that it opens up a lot on the exit, sorry. Easy to lose a lot of time there being too careful in the power. And super difficult corner here on the exit because you've got a bit of a crash just when you want to get on the power. Car goes light and the rears light up super easily. And coming up to the final sector here. Braking around the 50-meter board and then patiently letting the car turn in. And just breathing off the throttle a tiny bit for the penultimate corner. And third gear for the final corner. You can use second gear as well, but then you risk spinning out more than I was just about to spin out of there. So, super difficult to control the car on those exits. And it's going to make for a tough 40-minute race. Thanks for watching my lap. Enjoy the race.
Miko Nasi giving us a tour of the desert there. Not exactly the smoothest lap we've seen from Miko, but nonetheless, he is one of the experienced drivers that we will have out there. Qualification just starting. Before we get into the qualification laps, let's have a look at what we call the Spotter's Guide. In this, we show you the people we ought to be looking out for. Naqib Aslan in the white livery. Josh Perwin, second again last week. He's got to get some wins under his belt if he really wants to go for the title. Mohammed Tazbeh and Dylan Tan, the best of Singapore, alongside Miko Nasi. Indonesia recognised by Nicholas Stephen. Nurshaz Lizan and Jin Masvilton, also from Singapore. The international competition coming from Ildar Usmanov, Brad McCombs and James Pascalis from New Zealand. Darryl Brady, probably the best of the Filipinos. Right, let's get into the qualification. We're on board with Naqib Aslan. Naqib had a perfect weekend in Shanghai, Alex Young, and looks in great form. He drove well in a competition in midweek as well. And Naqib, without Alif, is the star turn.
Well, yeah, I mean, let's not forget Naqib has finished tied on points with Alif at Global Edition 2. And look at that, purple sector 1, 44.1, that'd be quite nice. This has still got a lot of time in qualifying left. When you see 3 minutes there, you think, oh, that's not a lot of time. Oh, gets a bit of a wiggle on there, that'll cost him a bit of time. But there is enough time after this to have to do another lap, so it looks a bit messy so far. I'm not really sure this will be good enough for pole, but let's see how it goes. Coming up to the end of sector 2, there will be some fast drivers here today. Don't forget the top 10 from the last round will have to carry a bit of ballast, success ballast. Always the top 10 from the previous round has to carry a bit of ballast. So Naqib's got 15 kilos. Josh, I think, has 12 kilos, and then goes down to the top 10 basically. But anyway, purple through sector 2, but like I said, it looked a bit messy. I'm not really sure this will be good enough for pole. One more corner to go. Got to get on the power as early as possible there. Use all the road in the exit. That's just about right. And he goes across the line. Yeah, Oh, he's not quickest, not by a long shot.
Kalen Chin is. Kalen Chin has got the fastest lap so far. Ooh, although it's been given as an invalid time. Best lap 1:44.493, Kalen Chin, as he goes out on a second lap. Josh Perwin is always worth staying on board with Josh, because even though he's not won titles, he's always good enough to be competitive.
Yeah, so, I mean, Kalen there, big gap. Nice to see that. Half a second faster than anyone else. Let's see if Josh can pull something out special. He's not done... I don't think he hasn't done a pole lap in ages here with eRGP.
Oh, and he's not going to do one there.
No, he's not going to do that, so he's going to restart again. Why don't we follow Mikko Nassi, see if Mikko Nassi can go a bit quicker.
Second fastest at the moment, Alex.
Oh, actually, he's just starting his lap now. There's enough time to do the lap. Let's see where he can go. I'm just going to go up and down a bit. I want to see Nakibas and just see how he does. He's a little bit further down the lap, so we'll keep bouncing between. Again, too much oversteer on the exit. It's going to be costing him time. So Nakib's struggling with a little bit of that success balance. 15 kilos is not going to cost you too badly. Oh. But yeah, Nakib not driving very well at the moment. Let's go back to Mikko Nassi.
So Nassi, a 1:44.960 on his best lap so far. 44.1 was the split time for the first sector. What's he got here? So Kalen Chin's fastest. Nassi currently on the front row of the grid, only in a minute and a half.
He's backed off as well.
He's backed off, so back on with Josh Perwin. Can he improve himself?
Let's just see what Kalen's doing as well. Sector 1, okay, a little bit down on Sector 1, but still on for another good lap. Cool, we see Kalen Chin on pole. He has had pole position before with us. He has won races in the gold class, but we haven't seen him win a race in a while. And this person too, Josh Perwin, it feels like years now since we last won a race, but it was all the way back in season 1 was the last time we won. He's 2/10 down on Kalen Chin at the moment, Des.
Okay, how about Mohammed Tasbih? He's another who can be quick, but he's fairly quick in sector number 1.
That's promising.
That is promising.
Runs a bit wide there, though. Onto the marbles. Oh, small mistakes just starting to creep into his game. But you're right, he's only 800ths off, so this could be... he's close enough to snatch pole.
Next 4 seconds, 1:14 is the target, I think. No, wait, 1:40, isn't it? Wrong sector. 1:16, okay. So at the moment, Tasbih is on the third row of the grid from the ART Grand Prix team. Nabil Aslan alongside him. Kalen Chin and Mikko Nassi on the front row. Josh Perwin and Dylan Tan. Nabil and Tasbih. And Nakib only P7. Only P7 for the championship leader. Hasn't gone as he would hope to. Darrell Brady, slowest of the lot at the moment. Kalen and Josh make it a 1-2 for Australia on the front row of the grid. And I think that will be how it is.
Yes, so Tasbih was not able to improve. Those small mistakes in the middle sector cost him. But Kalen Chin, wow, well done. Really good job by the Australian driver to get there.
We are at eRGP Global Edition. It's the gold class at the Dubai Autodrome Grand Prix circuit. It is a 40-minute race, which will also necessitate at least 1 pit stop, maybe 2, Alex Young, and strategy, very important.
Yeah, strategy, very important. It's a 40-minute race. Times 1 with the tyre wear, actually, but I think drivers are definitely going to make 1 pit stop, maybe 2 pit stops. I think most of the drivers are making 2 pit stops, so we will see some difference in strategy.
And all Australia, front row of the grid for a largely Southeast Asia dominated competition. That'll be some good news for our Antipodean friends. As we just about get ready, when the red lights go on, we will select the car to join with at the start. And normally we like to get one of the ones in mid-pack. At the moment, it's an all Australia front row of the grid. Mohammed Tasbih's got off to a dreadful start at the back. He has dropped from P6 down to P9 under pressure from Jin Masvilton. Up at the front though, the race lead belongs to Kalen Chin. He's dragged Josh Perwin with him. Nabil Aslan and Dylan Tan and Nakib Aslam are there as well. Kalen Chin is the man though, Alex Young, who has got off really, really well, and he's capitalised on a very, very good qualification.
Yeah, so the Aslan brothers, both of them in the top 5, so looking quite good after a poor qualifying for both of them. But this is the man at the moment, Kalen Chin, holding on from his fellow Australian, Josh Perwin. Josh has done a good job. He's second in the championship, so he really needs to try and take some points off Nakib Aslan. goes for the late turn and misses the apex. Oh, that's going to cost him some time. I think it's going to allow Dylan Tan to get really close to him on the exit.
Well, there is Dylan Tan. He is in the red car just behind. They're in a bit of a procession. In the midst of all that, our pal Mikko Nassi, who we saw doing a flying lap, you were explaining to me he hasn't had a lot of practice time, down in P12 at the moment. But somebody's gone wide, and you can foresee Mikko working his way up the table, Alex Young.
Yeah, he had a great lap actually to put in the top 5, but then he completely messed up the start. Very unusual. Mikko Nassi is normally very good at the start, and that's why he's quite far back.
Nakib Aslan has got himself up into P4. There he is. He's just got ahead of Nabil Aslan. Nabil won't like that little bit of a competition. Nakib just takes the nice, easy inside line, holds it nice and tight. Yeah. He's got Dylan Tan and Josh Purwin in his sights.
Well, see, there's Nabil right now. I tell you what, Nakib's next door to him. He's right next door. So if they take each other out, these two brothers are definitely going to... One of them's going to walk next door and thump the other one, I reckon.
So Nabil is there, focusing very hard. Little shake of the head. Kalen Chin it is, though, who leads as they come down this long straight onto lap number 2. Kalen Chin, look at that lead. It's a second and a half, Alex Young.
Wow, so he's really pushing. Kalen Chin, the 14-year-old. Whoa, this is seriously impressive by the Australian-based in Singapore driver. He's just rocketing away from everyone. Josh, okay, Josh has 12 kilos of success ballast on, but that's not that much. He should be able to come closer. And I think Josh is having to defend from Dylan Tan behind him, and that's allowing Chin to get away at the lead.
Well, we had a good long look there at him. Ayman Haziq, slow down penalty, track limits abuse already. A 1.5 second lead for Kalen Chin. Behind him, Dylan Tan is really working hard to get on the back of Josh Purwin. Josh defends once, twice. Dylan Tan tries to come around the outside. Dylan Tan is just not able to hold on. Furrow brow from the youngster. Josh defends. This time Dylan goes through. And again Josh defends. Big battle, which is great news for Kalen Chin ahead of them.
Yeah, that wasn't the right move, I feel, because diving down the inside of that corner is very hard, because it's very easy to just keep the car around the outside. So all Dylan did there was to really just slow both of them up, allowing Chin in front to pull away.
Dylan Tan, car 33, still learning. We love to see that inside shot of him. The cockpit still dwarfs the young fella, and he'll grow into it as he will grow into this race. Currently in P3. Good little battle. Now then, Nakib Aslan has held on to P4, but Nabil Aslan has dropped right the way down. Nabil was in P3 at one stage, Alex, but now struggling in P9.
He must have made a mistake off camera. So yeah, that's a shame though. Nabil Aslan, very quick. We've not seen the best of him lately. Really, we should see him up fighting for the podium.
Mikko Nassi goes. Oh, has a little look, didn't he? Mikko's got himself up into the top 10 as we are on board with Mikko. It's Nabil right in front of him. Nabil bottom right of your screen. He's working hard to get on the back of Yevon David in the blue, and Ayman Hakim Tadashi in P7. Tell you what, this is the middle of the race and this is congested.
Yes, 35 minutes of excellence to go. I'm really enjoying this. So we have to watch some of these drives. Oh, Nassi goes down the inside. That is a good place to make a move. But if you mess it up, you just ruin your exit. And that's what's happened to Nassi. He's lost the exit. He's lost touch. And now actually Nabil had a good exit. And he's just going to draft by Yevon David, who's in the Audi.
So Nabil moves into P8. Yevon David in the blue drops down. Mikko Nassi was trying to get up, and has he gone past Yevon David? I think he has. Yevon loses another place. Contact between Nassi and Yevon David is knocked sideways and out.
Yeah, he's not happy there. I was just saying that's not a good corner to try and make moves just a lap before. And hard to say what's going to happen there. That could be ruled a racing incident because they were side by side. But if the steward feels like it, might give Mikko Nassi a penalty for that.
Well, there's plenty of time. We're only 5 minutes into the race. Josh Purwin, slow down penalty.
Wow. So this another thing to consider is when we watch these drivers, you need to see which drivers are looking a bit calmer on the brakes, maybe being aggressive and stuff, because those are the drivers trying to conserve their tires to make sure that they can last, maybe do one less pit stop than the drivers around him. But if I see Josh Purwin going off and abusing track limits, then I'm going to say he's not one of the drivers taking it easy, and he's trying to close the gap to the leader.
Those teeth are very, very clenched as Josh tries to manipulate a closer gap. He's still only 1.5 seconds down on Kalen Chin, but he's got Dylan Tan and Nakib very, very close. And Mohammed Tasbi has also got onto the tail end of that little group as well. Let's go on board with Mohammed Tasbi. He's in the red BMW. Ahead of him, the BMW of Nakib Aslan. Tasbi, who we thought was going to post a quicker time in qualification, didn't quite get there. Maybe it's the blurry camera that puts him off.
It might be. Very wide exit into that last corner down this back straight. Try and get a straight line on the way out. Didn't quite work on this lap, but I'm sure it'll work on other laps. He will be a threat, Tasbi. Tasbi finished third. Did he finish third? Third, yes, he did finish third.
Yes.
I think in round one, so he will be a factor. Still a long way to go. With everyone's kind of feeling each other out at this point, like a boxing match. They know that tire wear is going to be an issue. There always is in these cars, and they're just trying to see where they can be. Oh, Nakib, though, looking down the inside of Dylan. Dylan giving him the space, surprisingly. And, oh, there he goes. Nakib made the move. Very nicely done. Dylan tried to go around the outside, tried to carry more speed. Got on the dirty stuff, and it didn't work for him. And, yes, Nakib has definitely got the line now. Nice late turn in. Good exit. Oh, sideways on the exit, and track limits issue. That's going to allow Dylan to come back at him into turn one.
So there is Nakib. Let's see how close Dylan Tan is. He's that close. But Nakib won't worry about that. Dylan himself is under pressure from Mohammed Tasbi. Tasbi has a look on the inside of Dylan Tan. We are looking in the backwards from Nakib Aslan, who's currently in P3, as he chases the green car of Australia's Josh Berwin. Kalen Chin, for all his pace, Alex, a last lap 146.2, but he's not been able to pull more than a second and a half clear. At the moment, it's only 1.1 second.
Yeah, and that's very true. Dylan Tan has the fast... No, actually, Tasbi, 45.6. Tasbi's got the fastest lap by 4/10, so he's really pushing at the moment, and that's why he's closing onto the back of Dylan Tan.
Right, let's very, very quickly catch up with Miko Nassi, who's got himself up into P10. He's got Nabil, Ayman Akeem, Ayman Hazik, and Mohammed Tasbi ahead of him. Uses the DRS. There is Miko Nassi. Has had to work very, very hard. Very hard to make up that ground.
Yeah, I love the fact that he's got a map next to him so he can remember which corners are what. He probably did it for the hot lap that he shared with us, so he can remember what the corners were called. But yes, up to 9th. That's good. He's got Nabil Al-Aslan right in his sights, so it's good recovery by the Singaporean-based Finn.
A little bit further down, Brody Steen is having problems in P17. Brad McCombs. Oh, dreadful for poor old Brad in the Audi. He's stumbles down. He goes down to the very, very back. Yevon David is having a tough time of it. Son Idu is having a tough time of it. Damien Hall is in P13 just at the moment. Up at the front, though, Kalen Chin still leads. Now then, Nakib Aslan has got himself into P3.
Yeah, he was there.
Oh, he was there, wasn't he? Sorry, Dylan Tan. My apologies.
Tasbi, though. Look at that Tasbi side by side with Dylan Tan. He's got the inside for this next right-hander, and I think Tasbi's going to make it. Oh, but Dylan tries to go on the outside. Argy-bargy between the two drivers. Whoa, that was really hard racing. But at the moment, Tasbi is in 5th position, but you just feel it's a matter of time before he takes Dylan for 4th.
Tadashi is somebody we've not really focused on today. Ayman Akeem. Currently in P7.
Yeah, the two Aymans are together. You can see his teammate Ayman Hazik just up the road from him here. They always seem to drive together, a little bit like how Perwin and Chin are always together.
The DRS is being utilised, but it's a big long procession. Chin, Perwin, Nakib, Dylan, Tasbi, Ayman Hazik, who we're on board with now. Looking pretty cool. You're saying that you like your drivers to be fairly calm and calculated. 10 minutes in, Ayman P6, not the worst place to be.
No, he's a very strong driver in Ayman. He's also quite experienced. Both the Aymans are really good at trying to get the most out of the packages, even if they're on an off day. But yes, Ayman Hazik is based in Japan, lives in Japan. Yeah, he'll be 6th position. He'll be watching and saving those DRSs. There is a limit on how many DRSs you can use during the whole race, and if you use them all up, then you'll run out of DRSs at the end of the race, and that's when you might need them. He is closing down the gap for the battle for the top 5, though, isn't he?
It is, yeah, it was 2.5 seconds. He's got it down to just outside 2 at the moment. Even Kalen Chin is being caught there. Look at that long line of cars. Love that shot here at Dubai. The long straight as they come through. As Kalen Chin still leads into lap number 7 now for Kalen, but the gap is now under a second.
Yeah. So if these guys are thinking about 2-stopping, they'll be pitting this lap. At the end of this lap would be when people will be thinking about 2-stopping. But if they're going to go to 1-stopping, they've got to make these tires go another 4 more laps. So this is where we'll see. So far, it's been kind of calm at the front. Other than the battles for, between Nakib, Dylan and Tasby, the front 2 have looked very calm. And I got a feeling they're going to try and make a 1-stop work.
Big smile from Kalen Chin. He really is so photogenic. Where's Daryl? Got a good question from Alfred Z on Facebook. Daryl Brady has dropped out. Maybe he's had connectivity problems, but Daryl Brady is out of the race. But Kalen Chin is very much in it. Behind him, Josh Berwin in P2 can feel the pressure from Nakib Aslan. Nakib, 34 points last week, didn't qualify too well this week, will pick up no qualification points, but is driving well. Alex is driving very, very well at Nakib.
Yeah, so, and I think he's settled down quite nicely now. He looks very calm and collected. He looks like he might have the measure of Josh, actually. If Josh is conserving tires, then I'm going to say Josh is looking really good. But if he's not conserving tires, Perwin in the green car, Josh Perwin in the green car, if he's not conserving tires, then I think Nakib might be looking to make a move very soon.
As we move on to lap number 8, there is the shot of the front runners. Kalen Chin in the black leads. It is just a second clear of Josh Perwin. Nakib again maybe making a move as they come round onto corners 1, 2 and 3. Good line though from Josh Perwin. Dylan Tan and Tasby still battling in there. No real changes apart from Alex Miko Nassi has worked his way up ahead of Nabil Aslan. And now he's got Ayman Hakim Tadashi ahead of him. So Miko slowly but surely manipulating his way up the field.
Yeah, and I saw something interesting on the onboard video with him. He kept tapping the brake pedal, the throttle pedal, as he is coming to the corners. So these DTM cars have quite a bit of understeer, and it's a fixed setup, so you can't dial out the understeer with any setup problems. And it was quite interesting that Nasi was touching the throttle, just flicking the throttle to try and rotate the car on turn in. An interesting way to try and make the most out of a car that's not quite handling the right way. But it's working for him, you know. He's closing on both the Malaysian Aymans, and wow, they all got the same livery as well. And I have to say, Nasi's driving quite well.
Back up to the front, I tell you, Josh Perwin is feeling the pressure because he's got Nakib Aslan and Dylan Tan very close, and Tasbey's not being dropped. This first 5 really are very, very close together. We'll look behind. That's the battle going on behind Josh Perwin. He's in P2 as Nakib tries to just force the error from Josh Perwin. Are you impressed with Josh so far today? He so often comes second.
Yeah, well, I'd love to see him win a race at some point because he hasn't won a race since season 1, and now here we are in season 4. I think Kalen won a race in season 2, didn't he? So, yeah, one of the front 2 winning a race would be fantastic. But yeah, they got a deal, of course. There's 3 other cars in this battle for first position right behind him that will want that win as well.
Being strictly neutral, of course, you are there. There is Nakib Aslan in P3 at the moment. Josh just over the girders, and oh gosh, has he got the right line? Yeah, he's been able to drive through there. So Chin still leads, able to just maintain that 1 second lead. Lap 9, pit stops now come very much to the fore.
Yeah, it's enthralling to watch this. I mean, everyone's just driving nicely and perfectly. No one can afford to put foot wrong, you know, because the pressure's slowly getting ramped up every corner, every lap. And it looks like everyone is committing to try and make this a one-stop race. So they're just pushing really hard to try and not make a mistake. But the pressure's going to keep going up. And, Nakib, they're looking at the inside of Josh, but not really close enough at the moment.
Admiral Assi on Facebook says, go, go, Nakib Aslan. And Nakib is going to have to go some. He's currently in P3 at the moment. But he'll look backwards and be very aware that Dylan Tan and Mohammed Tasbey aren't too far away. Nakib, I'm really fascinated. Who's going to blink first? Who's going to dive into the pits first? who's going to take a gamble? Or is one of them, Alex, maybe going to really take a gamble, as we saw, was it Nakib in somebody took the Filipinos last week on the no pit strategy?
Yeah, that was in the silver class. They went all the way without doing a pit stop, and then Seiko
all got punctures at the end.
Yeah, all got punches on the very last lap. So don't forget, in this game, it is on full damage. So if you run the tires down to the carcass, you will pick up a puncher. Oof, Nakib's using the DRS right now. He's getting very close to Josh Perwin. These are the 1 and 2 in the championship right now. The blue and white car of Nakib is leading the championship, but the green and white car of Josh Perwin is just behind him in second place. But of course, they got Kalen Chin leading at the moment as well.
Mikko Nassi is down in 17th place.
Oh.
Has he spun? Has he pitted?
Must have had a mistake.
Mikko and Mohammed Tasbih, a slow-down penalty for track abuse. He's just on the tail end of the top 4. That will hurt him as Dylan Tan has a look on the inside of Nakib Aslan.
Oh, that's really racy by the young Singaporean, shoving his nose down there. So really showing that he wants his position. He's looked so calm there. Well, he looks extremely focused, to be honest. But gosh, he is small, isn't he? But he's doing a really good job. He's not scared of these big boys, even though he's 11 years old and he's seen these really, really great drivers around him do well and win races and win championships. He's like, I want to be part of this. I want to try and get a race win as well.
Imagine how good this kid is going to be in 5 or 6 years' time if he carries on with this amount of time in the cockpit. Currently in P4 though. Moving away from him, go back up to the front. Kalen Chin still holds the lead. 22 minutes to race. 22 and a half minutes to race. Looks like they're all on one pit stop, Alex, because none of them have gone in early.
Yeah. And they're all looking pretty controlled. But I tell you, I think the fireworks, it is going to kick off at some point. And yes, Kalen, obviously, he looks the best because he's been out in front and he had a small gap in the early lap. So if anything, he could have looked after the tires a bit better. He had the opportunity to look after the tires a bit better. But we don't know. We really don't know. The guys behind might have better tires. But it all might be mute soon because this next lap, that's when you're going to start seeing the pit stops.
Yep, no, they all stayed out. They all stayed out. Mohammed Tasbih, I think, has taken his slowdown penalty because he's now 3 seconds down. So he decided to take that little gamble, did Mohammed Tasbih. But that means that he is instantly under pressure from Ayman Hakim, who has moved within 2 seconds of him. Ayman Hazik is there. In fact, Ayman Hakim has got over Ayman Hazik. And Mikko Nassi is down in 15th still.
Yeah, well, Mikko Nassi is not really going to be. He's too many. Actually, he might have done a pit stop. I think it was a mistake. But yeah, this battle at the front has now become a 4-way battle at the front. Oh, look at that! Nakib down the inside at the hairpin. Does he make the move? Oh, side by side through the hairpin. These drivers have a lot of respect for each other. Small touch there, nothing too bad though, just to let him know he's there. Oh, so Nakib's starting to get impatient. Oh, down the inside of the hairpin. Nicely done. He's going to run wide though, and Josh Perwin's going to come back at him. Okay, so Josh has the inside for this right-hander, but there's a left-hander coming up, and now Nakib will have the inside for that. So, Nakib is up to second position.
Well, that was a gutsy move there by Nakib. He invited the contact. Let's see if it impacts him later on. And Dylan Tan right behind poor old Josh Perwin. Josh had his eyes on Kalen Chin, and then suddenly, oh, Dylan. What's happened to Dylan?
I think Dylan's gone in the pit lane.
Yes, he has. Dylan's the first one to blink.
First one to blink. Can he do the undercut? He'll have the fresher tires when he comes out. Assuming he can get his tires up to temperature and pressure quickly. If he can nail this outlap, maybe he can make a move on Josh and Nakib.
It's purgatory, the pit lane. I can only imagine in the real life racing the traumas you go through, how quick you want the pit lap to be. Kalen Chin, meantime, on a fast lap. Who's fast? His last lap was a 1:47.3. People are going fast, and Nabil did a 1:47.0, and Nabil is down in P6. So he's not the fastest out on the track, Kalen, at the moment, but he is the leading man out on the track.
Yeah. Whew, look at him. He's coming under stress. I think they must be thinking about pit stops. If Dylan's going in for pit stops now, and he was running with these guys, and these guys must be thinking about pit stops, because I can't imagine they would have conserved that much more tire than Dylan.
Kalen Chin. Where are we on the circuit? Yeah, he's coming into the last half of this lap. Decision time. Are you brave? Do you stay out? Do you trust yourself?
Yeah.
Is it brave to stay out, or is it foolhardy?
Ooh, if you stay out, try and make it last longer, you might have fresher tyres than everyone else over the last couple laps. That's something you can consider. But then you're going to worry about the undercut because the lap times are starting to go off. And if you stay out there too long, you have someone like Dylan, who's on fresher rubber, be able to undercut everyone.
Nakib Aslan is
there
the man.
There we go.
Yeah,
oh!
Into the pits goes Kalen Chin.
So does Josh Powen. Nakib Aslan stays out. Oh, Josh just stops the car in time. Got it sideways on the line. That was so close. Josh was this close to speeding in the pit lane. As it is, we think he's okay. So there. First and third in the race so far come in for their stops. And you can see all the cars behind him. We've got the two Aymans behind, Ayman Haziq and Ayman Akeem coming in for their pit stop as well.
Nakib Aslan, though, has stayed out. So we'll find out soon enough, brave or foolhardy, as Nakib has the lead. Who else is stayed out there? Josh Perwin is in there. Eamon's gone in. Nicholas Stephen has stayed out there. Brad McCombs. Jim Vilton, who we've not mentioned. Mohammed Tasby stayed out.
Yes, Kalen's coming out. Kalen's coming out. And let's see, where is Dylan Tan? Dylan Tan, there he is. He's behind them both. So actually, look at that. Kalen has extended the gap to Josh. I think Josh would have lost some time on the pit entry. And Dylan Tan is actually quite far back off them. Look, there he is. And like you said, Tasby just behind them.
So Dylan Tan into P3. That's where he was, isn't it? Who are we missing? Who are we missing from that little...
Nakib. Nakib's still out.
Nakib, yes, of course. Nakib's still out on the circuit. Now then, Nakib is the shot. Dylan Tan was the inside shot. We're confusing our race director. Apologies for that. But Nakib Aslan is the man who must think of coming in this time. Surely to stay out one more lap is foolhardy.
Well, it's going to be a big risk there here because and you never know, you know, this is Nakib, right? So this in lap might have been, oh, that's right on the limit there. Ooh, I don't know how he slowed the car down in time. Hopefully that's not speeding the pit lane. Look at him, he's trying to take the shortest distance. That's why he's up against the Armco. So that's smart thinking by the driver. Keep the distance as short as possible because you have got the speed limiter, so you can't go any faster. There is a pit lane speed limiter that all these cars have to adhere to. So by taking the shortest distance, you can shorten your lap time in the pit lane. So, but this is what we're watching. Kalen Chin now through the penultimate corner. Will he be able to maintain the lead? Unless Nakib's done something very special on that in-lap.
Apologies, my fault.
Unless Nakib's done something really special on that in-lap. I think it's going to be Kalen Chin that's going to hold on to the lead. But shall we watch Josh Perwin then? Let's go to Josh Perwin because Josh Perwin will be the driver to watch as he is coming under... Oh!
Josh Perwin! What happened to Josh?
And then look at that. Nakib was out of the pit lane, almost got Kalen at the first corner.
Wow, Kalen Chin has just, because he's on fresher tyres, he will just be able to hold on. But Nakib Aslan is within 0.6 of a second. This race is on.
It is on. And thankfully, that incident we saw with Josh Perwin, if you go back to that, Des, he's still there. Thankfully, what we saw was lag. Because these drivers are all online playing from their home, sometimes the ping gets spikes. And I think that's what happened when Josh was close to Dylan. And it looked like it went off. But thankfully, it was just lag, and he is still there.
Okay, so Kalen Chin, he's in the little screen bottom right. We're looking backwards at the moment. And Kalen Chin has got the lead by 1.5 seconds. But Nakib, remember, is on his outlap. And Nakib is more than capable of making up that time. Nakib Aslan P2, Josh Perwin P3. Dylan Tan isn't out of this one either. It's been a four-man race for quite some while. Mohammed Tasby made up a little bit of time as well in the pit stop, Alex. So
yeah.
You've got any one from those five are able to, I'm sure, pick up the win.
Yeah, so he's got 15 minutes to go still. Mohammed Tasby has got the fastest lap of the race. I hope he can close the gap to these four and make it a five-way battle. I think that's entirely possible. But yeah, so like you said, Kalen Chin on the hotter tyres was able to, I mean on the cold tyres because he pitted first, so that allowed Nakib to almost get him at the pit stops. However, now Nakib has the cold tyres and now Kalen Chin has extended that gap to him, you see. You see that Kalen Nakib, if you look in the background, is fallen in the clutches of the Josh Purwin-Dylan Tan battle.
In the midst of that, there's a couple of guys, I think, have they been lapped? So Brad McCombs has struggled, Damien Hall has struggled, Son Idu has struggled, Miko Nassi, Alex, oh dear.
He's out.
Miko is out.
But you're right, Damien Hall, he's actually from the Barbados. He's got to let these drivers through it. That's it. Good boy. Keep out of the way and watch out for the blue flags and let the drivers through. But of course, it's kind of tricky because he's also trying to race with Son Idu as well. So tricky for these drivers.
Dylan Tan, slow down penalty, track limits abuse. Nabil Aslan, slow down penalty, track limits abuse. 2 of the top 8 will find that really hurts them. It allows Tasby to come back in on Dylan Tan as we ride on board with Nakib Aslam. 1.7 seconds down. The leader isn't the car immediately in front of him as he goes past the back marker. There is the leader, Kalen Chin. 13 minutes to build up to claw back a 1.58 second deficit.
Okay, so the slowdown penalty, how badly is it going to affect Nakib Aslan and Dylan Tan? Because if it's not too bad, they're going to stay in this fight. But if it's a big penalty, like we saw Tasby had earlier on, then that's going to drop him out of the fight for the win, I feel.
So Dylan, you just didn't want it at that time, did you? It wasn't Nakib, it was Nabil. Nabil picked up the other, just in case I confused everyone.
So, okay, there we go. There are the top 4 in shot. Kalen Chin coming over the brow in the car 62, and then right behind, look at the battle for second position. Nakib and Josh really, really close. Oh, side by side they are. Josh really trying to make a move, but Nakib has the inside for this next corner and holds on to the position for now.
Wow, brave move from Josh Purwin. Really good move from Josh, but in the end, didn't work out. What it did do is it enabled them both just to claw in a little bit closer to Kalen Chin. This one's going to the line.
Yeah.
There's going to be squealing, I promise you, at the finish.
Okay, don't forget we've got DRS. If Nakib can close that half second to become within a second of Kalen Chin, they will have DRS, and that should allow him to claw back up to close the gap to Kalen Chin.
I think Dylan Tan has still got to serve that stop-go penalty. But Josh Purwin, once again, is getting very, very tight on the back of Nabil. He's determined to pick up a P2, is Josh, I think.
Yeah. Oh, it makes him... Oh, I hope that's a lag.
I hope that's lag. I hope that's lag for Josh. Yes, it is. It's spectacular. Scary.
Phew. Yeah. he has missed a couple of races with us when his internet's died and effectively disconnected from the game, and that's all. When that happens, we just have to call it a mechanical failure. But the problem with those disconnects like that, when the ping spikes and it goes off, it damages the car. So even though he's still running right now, look how much damage he's carrying on that car. So Josh is going to struggle to maintain the same pace he has over the last few laps.
That means that it could well be between Kalen Chin, who comes up over the brow of the hill in the black. Kalen Chin leads the 14-year-old from the absolute veteran at 20, Nakib Aslam. And Dylan Tan, you're quite right, Alex, has closed in on Josh Purwin. Dylan, but has he served his stop-go penalty? I'm not sure he has. Maybe he's taking a big gamble, Dylan Tan, maybe.
Yeah, so, I'm surprised Tasby's last lap was Tasby's lost a bit of pace. I would have thought they would have started to catch up to these guys. But he hasn't yet. Actually, fastest lap of the race is now... no, it's still Tasby, 45.6. But it's just been a bit up and down with his pace. Hasn't been able to close the gap to this top 4.
Dylan did a 45.7. This kid is going to be sensational when he's older.
Just needs a bit more on the racecraft, find a little bit more time, and he'll be winning races and championships for sure.
There's the 5. All in shot. Kalen Chin, Nakib Aslan, Josh Purwin, Dylan Tan. Those positions haven't changed since the pit stop. Yeah. I don't think we're going to get another pit stop as Nakib now moves on the outside. Yeah. Nakib is close on Kalen Chin. Kalen is feeling the pressure.
Yeah, so Kalen made a mistake at turn 9, the hairpin at the end of the back straight. So yes, he's really under big pressure here. And if you watch how he drives like the karter he is. He's a real life karter. So when he does turn into he actually leans the opposite way. But yes, he's coming under pressure now. And Nakib's, yeah, he's well within DRS. And for sure, down this long front straight, you've got to think Nakib's going to try and get alongside him.
Sherman Seng is saying, go Nakib, go. Nakib attack, go, go, go. All on Facebook. Please join us and give us your comments.
He's using DRS. He's closing in, but he's not really close enough still. And Nakib defends, Kalen defends inside nicely. Textbook.
So that was his one opportunity. You only get one chance with DRS, or was that on the previous lap?
One time a lap. You get one DRS. When you're within a second, you get to use DRS once a lap. So that time might have been the end of the lap before. So let's see if he has DRS down the back straight. Then we'll know for sure.
So it's the blue of Nakib. Behind him, Josh Purwin is having to fight very, very hard to hold off Dylan Tan. That little damage when there was lagging meant that Purwin, who was battling for P2 twice, he got very, very close to overtaking Nakib. Now instead he finds himself under real pressure from Dylan Tan. Nakib has the DRS. Nakib goes around the outside. Nakib sweeps into the lead. Kalen Chim defends. Kalen works hard, but Nakib Aslam is the new race leader in the gold class of round 2 here in Dubai.
Wow, that was a seriously great move right around the outside, and the boys, excellent driving and racing. They gave each other just enough space, plenty of respect, made it hard for each other, but plenty of respect, and really good move there by Nakib Aslam.
Now maybe he's being held up, was being held up from Kalen Chin because he's accelerated away to an 0.8 of a second lead almost instantaneously, although no, a bit premature there. Kalen Chin is fighting back. Let's move on to the battle for P3, where Josh Purwin is certainly feeling the heat from Dylan Tan. We're on board with Dylan Tan. So in front of them, these are the front 4. Tasby isn't too far behind, Alex, and we've still got over 7 minutes to go.
Yeah, so you see Nakib just soaring at the steering wheel. He's really pushing hard. Let's see, invalid last lap, so he must have just gone and had a track limits issue. But yeah, he's really working really hard at the hands of that BMW.
There he is, in screen, bottom right. Always manages to look composed, even though he's clearly working that upper body. Kalen Chin will be straining, champing up the bit. That's only 0.5 a second, but Kalen, having been in the lead for such a long time, Alex, it can play on your mind to lose it.
Yeah, but let's not forget, now Kalen Chin has DRS. Will Kalen use the DRS? That is the question as we go on board with him. Let's watch from his rear view mirror up. He's only looking backwards at the moment, but he is using DRS as
Kalen Chin has a look. Oh, that's a back shot. Let's see if Nakib is able to defend and just hold on.
Oh, he's going down the inside. Oh, there's going to be contact. No, there isn't. Just enough space.
Oh, God.
I don't like it when they go for moves in that corner. They're always running a risk of tagging someone. So Kalen just needs to relax. Okay, he didn't make it that lap, but he can come back, and there's still plenty of time to try and make the move.
In the meantime, the green and red are having a battle royale. Josh Purwin in P3, Dylan Tan in P4. We can't move away, though, from these guys. Apologies to Sun and to Damien Hall and to Brad McCoons, Jim Masvilton, Nick Stephen, Brody Steen, Nurshaz Lizam, Yevon David, Nabil, and the 2 Imans. We can't break away from these front 4.
Yeah, the racing is too close at the moment. And, well, it's not over yet. It's just not over. You can get a pretty good slipstream as they come out of the last corner. You can see Kalen Chin just closing the gap. He's not using the DRS. Oh, yes, he is. And he's getting very close indeed. And look at that. The Purwin and Dylan Tan are getting dragged up to this battle as well.
It is mighty, mighty close. There's Nakib, P1. P2, the black. Kalen Chin. Tell you what, he has improved, Josh Purwin, hasn't he? We thought there was damage and it would hurt him, and now a back marker complicates matters, but only for a second.
Yeah, thankfully the back marker gets out of the way. But there is damage on that car. He's just somehow, he's probably figured out how it's affecting the car's handling, and he's adjusted to it, and now he's coming strong again. And oh, Kalen's getting very close, and I don't know why he's darting about like that. Nakib wasn't really blocking him. So Kalen around the outside, but Nakib breaks a little bit later and is able to hold on to the lead for now. But now Kalen's on the outside for the next corner.
Kalen, let's look forward from Kalen. There's the road view that he has. Shows you the pace, and You've just got to get the braking dead right.
Yeah, Nakib just taps the brake in the middle of the corner to try and get the front to turn in. And gets a good exit, but Kaylen is right there as well. And look at that, Josh and Dylan are closing the gap. And Mohamed Tasbi has now found some pace. He's setting some quick lap times because he's closing down the gap to the top 4 as well.
Kaylen Chin was in the lead for, what, maybe 14, 15, maybe even more of this race. Then he was overtaken by Nakib Aslan, lost it a little bit, but has responded superbly.
Oh. Nakib there had a big sideways moment on the way out there. He's been catching the car, the exit of the corners all race long. That has to chew up the rear tires a bit too much. And look at that, Kaylen now down the inside. Oh, not able to make it. Unfortunately, Kaylen's view is always the rear view mirror, so we need to stop going to that one, I think. But yeah, it's always looking backwards, isn't it? We want to try and get a front look. But yes, not quite close enough. And to be honest, Nakib did a good job by just braking late and going around the outside.
Dylan Tan, slow down penalty. It's maybe the same one, but that's a little bit of respite for Josh Purwin in P3. Let's have a look backwards from Nakib Aslan. It's a bit scary, isn't it? You've just got to be very
close.
aware.
He's so close. He's going to do it this lap, I think. If you come back to the front view, I think he needs to just brake on the inside, and he does. Dylan Tan through nicely.
Then Nakib tries to retake it, but Kaylen Chin has retaken the lead. He was working for 2.5 laps to try and find a flaw in Nakib's defensive technique, and he's found it superbly. But now he's got 2.5 minutes to defend, and Nakib is the man who has the DRS, Alex Young.
Yeah, so this is going to be a great... Was it 2 more laps to go, Des? No, I think 1 more lap to go, isn't it?
This plus one. This plus one.
Yeah, this plus one. So Kaylen has to be perfect. He has to be absolutely perfect for the rest of this lap and the next lap.
Dylan Tan's through into P3.
Wow, we missed that. Dylan Tan, great job.
But he's got a stop-go penalty to serve, a slow-down penalty that he must serve. I saw that flash up top right of the screen. That may well come into play later on. Final lap, is it? No, there'll be 1 more, Alex.
1 more lap. Whoa, I'm liking that. It's more to watch. Look at the front, though. The 2 of them, the leaders, are battling it out again, side by side. 2 more laps to go. Lovely. Can we have another 40 minutes, please?
2-lap sprint, and it comes down to this. Who needs sprint races? Kaylen Chin in the black, he leads. He's got to hold on for 2 long laps under pressure from Nakib Aslan, and Nakib is the master of just piling it on when he needs to. Dylan Tan, the kid, in 3, and Josh Purwin, perennial 2nd in P4. Mohamed Tasbi, Alex Young, isn't out of it. He's only a 2nd down, and he's getting onto the tail end of that top 5.
Oh, it's so close. He's only 2. If he can find 2 more tenths, he'll have the DRS, and he'll really be... Oh, look at that, down the inside and down the outside. Nakib down the outside, and Kaylen down the... and Josh down the inside.
Nakib had the lead. Kaylen retakes it back. Dylan Tan in 3. Josh Purwin goes on the outside of Dylan Tan, who defends. He holds on, and then Kaylen goes back into the lead. Kaylen and Nakib side by side, enjoying a generous Wilton slowdown. Nakib goes around the outside to retake the lead. That's 4 overtakings in this last half lap. Purwin has got through ahead of Dylan Tan into P3.
Wow, so Nakib's back into the lead. Kaylen's right there, though. There'll be 1 more lap after this. Whoa, look how close it's getting now.
And the DRS will be with Kaylen Chin. 14 seconds. If I tell you what, if he could end the race right now, Nakib Aslan would do so. But we are going into 1 more sprint lap. Fabulous finale, fabulous stuff. Nakib leads. Can he hold on?
Wow, so a great shot down the front straight just now. Had the top 8 cars all lined up in a row, all in one shot. But oh, look at that. Nakib's really pushing. He's trying to put the gap because he needs to try and have a gap for the next DRS zone, because that's when Kaylen Chin's going to get the DRS and a chance. Small wiggle on the exit there. Des, One more corner. This is the corner leading onto the back straight now.
So Nakib, the lead is just over half a second. It won't be enough. Kalen Chin will have the chance to close him. Perwin has got ahead of Dylan Tan. Mohammed Tasby is in that group as well. Kalen makes his move. Kalen sweeps from left to right. This is Kalen Chin. Kalen Chin and Nakib Aslan. Kalen is in the lead. Kalen, I think, has just caught the outside edge there of Nakib Aslan, who's been able to hold on. Nakib in the blue held on, Alex Young.
Wow. I thought Kalen had that. Really just tried to make the move, and somehow Nakib managed to hold on there.
Let's look backwards. There is the view for Nakib. The timing is over. This is the last lap. It is a sprint for the line. Kalen Chin in the black goes on the inside to take the lead. Nakib spins. Nakib spins and Kalen Chin will take the victory. Nakib can't work it out. He's lost everything. Nakib drops down. Kalen Chin second. Also suffering there was Tasby. Josh Perwin lost time as well. And Kalen Chin wins the most sensational race. Kalen Chin for Australia wins in Dubai. But what a finale. And let's see if we can catch up with Nakib Aslan. He's come through here in P5, but he was pushed sideways. He cost Josh Perwin places. Dylan Tan may well get second. Ayman Hakim up into third. But Kalen Chin, Alex Young, takes the victory.
Wow, wow, wow. I just can't believe it. What a close race. Last corner again, all over. Whew. Kalen Chin, super aggressive. I think that was a fair move. We'll have to look at it later, but I think that was good. But somehow Nakib got tapped into a spin, took out Josh Perwin. Wow. Right, penultimate corners again. So, Kalen Chin takes his first win in what seems like a long, long time.
Well, what we need to do is we've got to wait for the official results because there was so much going on. Nakib lost it. You could see his frustration. He almost threw his steering wheel down, but to his credit, recovered to P5. But Kalen Chin, what resilience from this young kid. Hey, Dad. Hey, Dad. You'll never guess what. Yeah. I know, son. I was watching.
Yeah. So really exciting. Hopefully we get a chance to talk with Kalen Chin in just a second. Yeah, well, wait for the official results.
Kalen Chin takes it. Dylan Tan second. Tasbeh gets fastest lap, but P7 he was caught up. Tadashi comes through to take a podium. Ayman has the consistency from the Malaysians. Nakib Aslan will be devastated, but will have loved the racing. He's in P5. Josh Perwin. Poor old Josh. I don't know how many black cats you've killed, Josh, but there's another one gone today. P6 for him. Mohammed Tasby 7 and Nabil Aslan 8. Yevon David 9. Nurshaz Lizan 10. Points also for Brody Steen, Nicholas Stephen, Jinmas Vilton, Darryl Hall and Brad McCombs picking up points as well. Nothing for Idu, Nasi or Darryl Brady. So Kalen Chin joins us, and Kalen, my word, that was dramatic.
Yeah, that was such an intense race, and it was very tough as well at the end after the pit stop with Nakib when he came out, and then he was just putting so much pressure on me. And then that last lap, I mean, after he overtook me, I was like just talking to myself, I have to get him back, and then into, I think it was the third last corner, I sent it down the inside. I was alongside, and I don't know if we touched, and I don't know what happened after that, and yeah, it basically caused a big pileup at the end, so.
Yeah. Okay, well, it's still, you're a real race car driver. You got to send it down the inside, don't you? Yeah. Those overtakes are really exciting to watch. That was something else as well.
Yeah, I hope everyone watching the stream on Facebook enjoyed that one. Yeah. I myself, as the driver, certainly did. As you can tell, I'm smiling so much. So yeah.
In your heart of hearts, Kalen, do you think that you're going to be penalised?
Honestly, I don't think I did, because I just rewatched it and it looked like Nakib did move on the braking a bit. So that's what caused the contact, and I don't really think I'll get a penalty after that, after rewatching it, so.
Okay.
I mean, we'll see. We'll have to see. So, what the
Alright.
stewards would say.
So Naqib Aslam was the man who was very much centre of everything that went on in that race. He worked his way back to get into the lead, and then perhaps he was knocked off. And Alex, I believe we've got him on Zoom, so let's hear his thoughts.
Hello there.
Hey, Naqib. Wow. So, okay, talk us through that last lap. What happened?
Yeah, I mean, it was really tight, but I definitely had the corner. Kalen outbroke himself and used me as a barrier, pushed me wide, and definitely just lost control due to that. Definitely disappointing, because the race before that was going so well, you know, having worked my way up from 7th all the way up to the lead. It was looking so good until up the final 3 corners, and yeah, massively disappointed, that's for sure.
But you're, in your own mind, pretty sure that that race was yours and it was taken off you. You're expecting to win. You're expecting to win your appeal.
Yeah, I think obviously coming into this weekend, I knew it was going to be difficult. Having the highest success ballast, it was going to be very difficult to control the car. And then without having the practice that I wanted, but you know, it was looking so good up to that point. I think it was very confidence to me that I would have won it. But yeah, sometimes you can't control these things, and these things happen.
Okay.
No matter what happens, though, you'll be top of the overall standings after 2 rounds. 3 more rounds still to come. Naqib Aslam, wherever you finish, great entertainment.
Thank you very much.
But the results are in, and you know what? Kalen Chin has been demoted. 10 seconds, Alex Young. 10 seconds penalty. Please explain.
So there were actually 2 incidents. The small contact there with Naqib only warranted a 5-second penalty, but he also had a change of direction under braking to defend into turn 9, which was too close to the braking zone, right in front of Naqib. So that was another 5 seconds, so 10 seconds in total. So you know what that means, Des?
11-year-old Dylan Tan wins this incredible race. Naqib Aslan picks up 13 points, so shouldn't be too despondent, but we have got a brand new ERGP winner, 11-year-old Dylan Tan. And that is something worth singing and shouting about, an 11-year-old coming up at the top of the pile after all of that chaos.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it for a while now. He's been super quick, and he deserves this victory. Okay, yes, a little bit lucky. The front 2 guys took each other out. And it's a shame for Kalen and Naqib because they were driving so well. But Dylan, still, to be right there, our first 11-year-old winner, wow, how spectacular.
Absolutely superb. Hey, do join us for round 3 of eRacing GP. That was nearly as good as it gets. We have had one even closer race in the past, but ERGP never fails to surprise. Today's surprise is that an 11-year-old is the first winner. From Alex Young, myself, Des Corkill, the team behind the team, I do hope you've enjoyed our coverage of eRacing GP.